Are you struggling to manage your blood sugar while you're trying to lose weight? You might think that natural sweeteners are a better alternative than table sugar, but there's more to the story. Some can raise blood sugar and others can further insulin resistance. Stay tuned to discover which natural sweeteners are truly beneficial and which ones to stay away from. Losing weight is harder later in life. It's important to fully understand what we're putting in our bodies. Let's have a conversation about our health and why we should be paying attention to what we put in our bodies over 40. There's lots to talk about now about sweeteners and which ones are good for you and which ones aren't. And we all know high fructose corn syrup is the devil, but sugar isn't so good for us either. And when you're cutting out sugar, you still need to find something to satisfy those sweet cravings and for things like your oatmeal in the morning. A glass of unsweetened tea is punishment. You got to have something in your tea. And if you can't have sugar, what can you have? It's like our taste buds are constantly begging for a sweet fix. And it can be tough to say no. Finding that balance between satisfying your sweet tooth and a healthy diet is no easy feat. First thing, we need to talk about the difference between natural fructose and high fructose corn syrup. Natural fructose is found in fruits and vegetables, and that's what makes them sweet. Some have more than others. Think of the difference between biting into a banana and biting into a pineapple. The pineapple is much sweeter than the banana, and it has a higher fructose content. Now, high fructose corn syrup is made from the fructose found in corn and then processed and concentrated. Then it's mixed with a bunch of chemicals and dumped into everything from cough drops to cake icing. Why? Because it's cheap, easily added to recipes, and safe for long-term storage, and can be used in a variety of food products. And if you haven't heard, it's not good for you, and it might even be partially responsible for your type 2 diabetes, just like me. Think back on childhood snack time and all those Little Debbie cakes and knee-high sodas. I mean, do y'all remember Creamulsion? It was a cough syrup specifically for children because it was so sweet. It was corn syrup. That's all it was. There was so much sugar on the bottle. I remember we had a bottle of it under the sink and I would snake drinks out of it because it tasted so good. It was just so sweet. And there would be sugar crystallized around the top of the bottle and in the cap because it was so sweet. It was all sugar, but that was our medicine. So it's not a wonder that we're getting into our 40s and 50s and now we have health problems as a result. I cut out sugar several years ago. At least I thought I did, because I wasn't adding sugar to anything. I wasn't buying sugar at the store. It wasn't in the house. Once a year, I'll get a bag of brown sugar and make pralines a couple of times, and the rest of it I use in tea. And when I make tea, I put 1/3 of a cup of brown sugar into a whole gallon of tea. And I want to get away from that because it's really good, and I don't like unsweet tea. It's disgusting. It's terrible. So, I'm a Southerner. Unsweet tea is offensive to us. So, even while I can't have a lot of sugar, I need something, and not only in my tea, but I was drinking Mountain Dews every day at work. It started out with one with my lunch, and then it turned out to be one in the morning, one in the afternoon, one at lunch. And then here I am with an A1C of 6.7. I'm at 320 pounds. My cholesterol is this close to needing a daily pill for it. And I decided I needed to make some changes. And I've been completely off of all of that sugary stuff since then. Yes, I do have cheat days. I do eat sweets, but I limit them. I really limit them. I will buy a small package because I know I'm going to eat it all, so I just get a smaller package. But now I'm to the point where I'm doing more cooking and with the overnight oats, and I'm doing some other stuff. I made pineapple muffins last night. It needs a little sugar, and I'm making homemade popsicles. They need a little sugar. I made some for my mom, and that was the first thing she said. You got to put some sugar in that. And I'm like, I don't eat sugar. So I've been looking for a good sugar replacement, a good sugar substitute. Here are the 3 most popular natural sweeteners. Number 1, Agave. This is what tequila comes from, the agave plant. It's grown in the desert. It looks a lot like aloe vera, but you know, different. It's the same type of plant, though. It's got the sap inside the leaves, and that is where the syrup comes from. It is very high in fructose. Like, it is really high in fructose. And it's what, you know, corn syrup is the diabetic devil. Agave nectar is safer in small amounts. And when I say small, I've tried it. It is very good with like a jasmine tea or something like that, a hot tea, but you only need about a drop in the teacup. You don't even want, like, a spoonful is too much. Just a drop is about all you'll need. It is that sweet, which makes it kind of dangerous because that's fructose. And if you're insulin resistant, or if you have type 2 diabetes, that can actually make it a little worse. So if that's your situation, you might want to stay away from agave, or have it in just very tiny little infrequent sips with your tea. All right, number 2. Monk fruit. It's an ancient Chinese medicine and a sweetener, believed to also have anti-inflammatory properties, but more research is needed to confirm that theory. I want to throw that out there. That was in everything I read. It comes from a melon. It's been used in traditional Chinese medicine for centuries, and it's fairly new to Western cultures. Monk fruit has no calories, no carbs, and does not affect blood glucose levels like table sugar does. The FDA has labeled it generally safe, which means they didn't find anything wrong with it or any harmful side effects. My boss turned me on to monk fruit. She raves about it, and she's told me so much about it, so I'm really curious about this one. She says it's the sweetest sweetener she has ever used. She recommended it for baking, for use in cereal, put in your tea, whatever. The only real drawback is pricing and availability. It's a little harder to find. Not every grocery store is going to carry it, and it is a little more expensive than you would pay like for the pink packets or something like that. But you don't need a lot. That's what I have heard about this. You just need a tiny amount. Like if you're used to using a cup of sugar, you might want a spoonful of this. Monk fruit is actually the one that I chose. I got the Truvia. It seems the least tampered with. Like there's only 3 ingredients: erythritol, chicory root fiber, and monk fruit extract. And that's where the sweet comes from. I got this from Walmart. This was one of about 4 different varieties, different brands. And this was also the most affordable. This was about $6.48. And that can be used in anything. There are different varieties. You can check Walmart. I know they have it. I know Kroger has it. I just forgot to get it on my shopping haul this week. I did my forget stuff pickup today from Walmart, but it's about the same price in both places. There's a stevia, not a stevia, what is that stuff? The yellow packets. Splenda has a monk fruit. It looked a little more tampered with though. This was the purest one I could find, and I'm paying more attention to the chemicals that go into stuff too, because that can also change the chemical composition of the fruit sugar and make it harmful. If you want to check it out for yourself, read down below what Healthline has to say about monk fruit. Number 3, stevia has been used for hundreds of years in South America as a sweetener and was introduced to the U.S. several years ago as an alternative to artificial sweeteners. Stevia can help you manage your blood sugar, and it has no calories or carbs and may increase appetite suppressing hormones, making you feel fuller with less food and stay full longer. There are some downsides. It may be harmful to your gut bacteria, so be sure to eat some probiotics like yogurt with live cultures or cottage cheese every day, or at least on the days when you're going to be like, if you're like me and you don't use a lot of sweetener in things, eat it with or on the same day as. It can cause an insulin response because of the sweetness of it, because it is very, very sweet. But it has no real impact on the blood sugar levels, but it may cause an insulin dump. Just because when your body says, oh, that's sweet, you need some of this stuff. So just keep that in mind. The refinement process can reduce the overall benefits and introduce chemicals that could be harmful in large amounts over time. This is what Healthline has to say about stevia down in the description. Again, this is not my only resource, but this was the most comprehensive that I found. So that's which ones I'm sharing with you in this video. Bottom line is this. Whether you're just learning how to manage your blood sugar or lose some weight, sweeteners should be used sparingly. Adding sweets to the already sweet, like sugar on berries, is gilding the lily. Once you cut sugar out though and give yourself time to adjust, you'll notice you won't need to eat as much extra sweet to tame the sweet tooth, and you won't need to sweeten your berries anymore because you'll be more sensitive to the natural sweetness of the berries. So coming up, some things we're going to explore on the channel is I'm going to do some testing with the monk fruit, some different recipes, and see what I come up with, and the ones that I like the best, I'll share them with you. Whether it's a simple dessert recipe or like my pineapple corn muffins, which I haven't made in so many years I forgot the recipe, but we're working it out. Again, all the source material is linked in the description. If you learned something in this video, give me big old thumbs up. And if you want to join me on my journey to be a healthier person over 40 and stay in budget, that's the hardest part. Staying in budget. Subscribe to the channel because we are on this journey together.